Got myself, CBD coffee down there for free. Obviously, anything free tastes always nice, right? So, always nice, right? So, I want to ask you, what's your name and what you do here today, and why you're here today, and what you're trying to provide for the people visiting at this expo.
Okay, yeah, my name is Paul Griffiths. I'm Managing Director of TSB Order Fulfillment. So we're here today at the White Label Expo just to promote our services. We're an e-commerce order fulfillment business, specialising in large retail, online retailers who want to outsource their warehouse operation.
So I want to ask you, like, obviously, so you're a company, a digitized digital company, right? Where you got warehouse spaces and you try to fulfill people's storage in a given space, right? So do you want to go into the details of how that works and what you're trying to do and how you keep your customer happy?
Okay. So anyone selling online, they've got kind of two choices really. If they want to really kind of grow their business, do they get their own warehouse and pay the rent, the energy bills, the people costs, and so on, or do they outsource it to a company like us? So I did a price comparison. I've just done a keynote speaker piece this morning, and kind of a high volume e-commerce seller selling kind of 100 orders plus per day, they're looking at 450k there or thereabouts in operational costs every year. To outsource it to a company like us, you're going to save around 275k per annum. So commercially, it kind of makes sense. And then from a service level point of view, there's three main measurements really that kind of our clients look at to keep their businesses, effective and efficient. And that's on time in full. We measure those services daily, and we currently measure 99.9% on time in full stock accuracy service level measurements.
So, obviously, Paul, innovation is a big, game changer. And I think a company that doesn't innovate at the right time, just as, when iPhone came into the market and there was companies with the old mobile phones, right? They didn't innovate as sooner as they could have, right? It could disrupt the whole market and industries change from that. Look at Tesla that just came out about a decade or more years than that year, right? When Tesla came out, people didn't really trust, electric cars or cars that could be made at that point. The same way the Wright brothers, when they came up, everybody was calling them to be, mad, crazy. It was out of reach, the ideas, right? So as a company, right, TSB, right, as a company, TSB, right, what are you doing as an innovation, from an innovation perspective, right, that's very different from your competitors, would you say?
It's a great question. So I've been in this industry for 4 or 5 years now. Prior to that, I was in the manufacturing sector. I used to be director for a supply chain management company who predominantly supported large manufacturers and automotive manufacturers. You mentioned Tesla. It wasn't them, but Nissan very much one of them.
So it was another car company before them?
Yeah, so Nissan, I used to work very closely with them. Companies like Hitachi Rail and Caterpillar, kind of big, impressive manufacturing businesses. So when I came into the e-commerce and 3PL fulfillment world, I was actually horrified at how kind of primitive the standards were. And I include TSB in that as well, not just our competitors. So it was really kind of a strategic approach to create a 3PL, a fulfillment business that was more in line with manufacturing world, the automotive world that I was kind of familiar with. So we've completely redesigned, redeveloped everything we do, from our processes, from goods in through to goods out, the people that we hire, our processes, the technology we use. So, one of our taglines is reinventing fulfillment, taking fulfillment out of the dark ages and into the 21st century and beyond. So you might not be able to see, but there's kind of a few innovation pieces that we're kind of highlighting there. So RFID, parcel tracking, it's something no other fulfillment.
RFID chip?
Yeah, so yes, exactly that. So parcels, when you're doing thousands and thousands of parcels every single day, parcels can get lost by the carrier network, DPD, Royal Mail, those guys, even they lose parcels.
Yeah.
So what we decided to do was look into technology solutions that we could guarantee that parcels are never going to get lost again. Our clients are never going to lose money on, oh, well, we can't find your parcel, DPD have lost it. We know where parcels are at any given time. We know where our clients' pallets are at any given time with our GPS tracking solutions. So there's a couple of things.
To be honest, that's a mouthful, you know.
Yeah, no, it is,
I'm like, oh, you know, this is too much information overload. I'm joking. Carry on.
So again, we're looking to kind of reduce, you know, it's like anything, innovation. The more people touch a product, the more expensive it is, and the more likely it is to go wrong. So, you know, we're introducing robotic automation picking. You know, we're looking at different technologies around how we handle equipment. You know, taking the stresses out and the manual elements out of our processes. So, you know, we've made a good start, and there's quite a long way to go. But yeah, ultimately though, it goes down to the people. And what I've found in the 3PL world was, you know, people were kind of just recruiting people from the so you know, people weren't, you know, businesses weren't learning what the manufacturing world are doing and what automation, what Tesla are doing. You know, I had a little flavour of that kind of stuff, so you know, it's what we brought to our business.
Yeah, Paul, I'm gonna just give you this take, right? From just talking to you for the past like 5-10 minutes, I can see that you're very sharp, intelligent, very driven person. Just by, you know, how passionate you are when you're talking about Tesla, you're trying to give me a little lesson about, you know, the car that was actually there before Tesla, right? So now I wanted to ask the people that I do bump into today, where did this inspiration come from? Like, where was your initial point? Where were you at? Like, were you having a bit of a drink, or were you with your family, or was it Christmas dinner, or where was this ultimate influence or inspiration came from when you was sitting there and this idea came for you to start this process of, you know, creating this company, right? TSP. Where did it come from? Where were you at? It's a good question, right?
No, it's a great question. Needs a bit of thought, but off the top of my head, like, I'm a very competitive person.
Did you do any sports, or?
So I played football at a really poor level.
Okay, fair enough. Like,
not pro, like a very low level, like Sunday league kind of. You know, I was.
Not everyone need to know that, you know.
So yeah, I'm like, I don't know. I'm naturally a very competitive person. I want to be the best, and you know, it's something that from being a little kid, it's just one of those things that, you know, if I didn't win a Monopoly, you know, I wasn't happy. I would keep on trying. I'll buy different properties and try different things, and life's about that. Right?
Just letting you know, like my last video, I was talking about I was dating Megan Fox, and she cheated, you know, say on Connect 4, and then I had to dump her, right? So hope you check that one out. But
check that one out, absolutely. I'll check that one out.
It's a bit of a banner.
Yeah, absolutely.
While eating chicken hot wings, right? So hot chicken wings, right?
I heard she's a fan of hot chicken wings, absolutely.
A lot of it, yeah.
But yeah, no, it's just one of those things. Like, yeah, I just want to be the best, and I found that there was a humongous opportunity in the fulfillment world, you know, to improve it, take it out the dark ages, take it into the 21st century. Fortunately for me, I had a background in, you know, the manufacturing world. I learned a lot through that, and I guess just, you know, wanting just that natural competitive edge of just striving to be the best.
That's a great thing. I think, you know, if you have a business, right, you want to be competitive. It's the same way, you know, you don't like jump in the boxing ring, or, you know, say play a sport, just jump in the boxing ring and then expect to punch a little lighter because you want the persons to be safe, right? Like, everything is driven. Like, I don't know if you know about this in Japan, but they believe each organization, each company that's built in Japan, right? Because I've read, you know, a few books of Steve Jobs, and I think Steve Jobs a great innovator, right, for iPhone, or as a business leader, right? In Japan, what they do is they believe in 100% market share. To get 100% market share is very difficult because there's all these other competitors, you know, competing, but having that philosophy makes you push more and push further and, you know, build bigger and better, right? So What would you say to someone, because obviously you're the managing director of this company, right? What would you say to someone like, because I'm 29 years old, right? But what would you say to someone who's young, who's hungry, who's competitive like yourself, and who wants to have something that they could call their own, right? What would you say to them if they're building up and starting from scratch and trying to build something for themselves that they could call their own? What would you say?
So again, if I look back at my life, I don't have any regrets. However, I would definitely do things a bit differently. And I guess, I mean, I'm 46 now, so I'm not kind of old school, but I'm getting close to being old school. And when I was 21,
46 young, bro. You gotta be in your 80s to be old, you know.
this is true.
It's a new generation. It's all the mindset.
This is true. That's good to know. But yeah, the best advice I could give is, and it's something I wish I'd done earlier in my career, was have some goals. Like, there could be lifestyle goals, there could be business goals, but in terms of what we're talking about today, like, I didn't figure out what I wanted to do until only about 10 years ago. Like, if I'd have kind of done that sooner, and some people are still figuring out, so it's like, that's probably the best advice I could give anybody. What do you want to do? Find something that you want to do, set your standards high, and then you're going to make mistakes along the way. They're just bumps in the road. You'll get there, and just keep going on. Just keep pushing forward. I've made a lot of mistakes. I've got things right. You learn from your mistakes, but having the goal of whatever it may be should keep you focused.
It's great speaking to you. But just be able to show that say London has a lot of people who are ambitious and goal driven. And to be honest, Paul, I'll be honest to you, I feel I'm 29 years old. I wish I've done some things differently at a younger age. I think obviously, like influence is a big thing, and it's that saying by, I think, Jim Rohn, you're the average, or Zig Ziglar, Anthony Robbins and people like this, right?
Absolutely.
They talk about this, which is that you are the average of the 5 people that you hang around with. So look, I think what you're doing is great. I wish you all the best, and hopefully, well, not hopefully, surely, this company does well, and make yourself a brand that people can trust, which people already does, right?
Sure.
So I wish you the best.
Cool. Thank you. Cool. Cheers, buddy.
Thank you.